Welcome back to the Plunder Den and our next paint tutorial video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about washes. So washes are a great way to age your piece. So remember in our last video we painted our temple. In today's tutorial video, we're going to put our washes on here and give it a good weathered look. There's lots of different techniques of using washes. I mostly use Army Painter washes. I don't, you can make home brews. You can, all sorts of different techniques for doing that. But on this video, I'm just going to show you how I apply washes. I do it in a similar way to my paint. I do it in layers. So let's get down to the table and let's check that out. Okay, so we're going to start our washes off with this green tone by Army Painter. So similar to the paint tutorial, I like to put everything on these plates. The brush that I'm using here is an Army Painter brush. It's a smaller, flat brush. It's got a bit of an angle to it. I don't like to cover my entire piece with just this whole colored wash. I'm very strategic in placing where I want it to go. This is actually the lighter of the greens. When I do washes, I actually do them in reverse than what I would with paint. I like to start with the lighter color actually first and then add darker colors. But I add less of the darker colors. So in here, I'm just trying to get where I would think this green would live. So this temple would be in the jungle, and a lot of all sorts of moss and all sorts of plant life would grow all along the bottom edges. So I kind of wanted to first put that in with paint. Of course, in the third tutorial video, we will go to covering how to add actual plant life to it. But in this video, I just wanted to imply it with washes. And it adds to the overall effect at the end. So I think this is a very important step. So here I just keep going on the bottom of the bricks and keep adding that green wash. Yeah, this is I went to the top layer. I'm not going to go just in the bottom. Anywhere I think the rain might have stopped and accumulated, and any plant life would have grown. I also kind of look at it as what areas of this piece would actually be out in the sunlight, essentially, where plant life would grow, right? There wouldn't be as much on the inside of this temple as there would be on the outside of the temple. Mainly because the sun doesn't hit it, right? So there would be a portion of it in the center, and we are going to add some color to that. Definitely in up the staircase and right straight in, as the sun would have peeked through there and added, allowed plant life to grow essentially. So we're just going to kind of move forward here to the next color. I'm just going to continue going around and hitting all those bottoms and anywhere I think that there might be some foliage or plant life or whatever growing there. But we'll move on to the next color. Okay, this is the next color I like to use. It's called Military Shader by Army Painter. It's kind of a darker green than the original green that I put down. Um, so what I'm going to do is and not cover what I put on originally. I am going to just go to points at the bottom of where I started and add it. So if I lifted it up on the bricks, I would just put this at the very bottom of it, just to imply that it's darker at the base than it is as you lift it up. And I would just kind of go all over the areas that I hit. As you can see, I'm hitting those stairs. Just going on there everywhere. I think that we need to add some darker colors to. These green washes are really good, especially for doing adding colors to jungle terrain. It really gives it a realistic feel to it. It kind of dries a little wet, which is okay. In the jungle, everything would have been wet, and it's okay to have that. I think okay to have that wet look to it, as it is rarely dry in the jungle. It's always wet, so this gives you that effect. You don't have to add. There is a Army Painter does have a wet effect that you can put on top of colors. But the wash already naturally does that. It has a sheen to it, and it makes everything look wet. So I've kind of moved to a little bit of a bigger brush. Same Army Painter angle brush. See, I'm just getting those edges. Again, I like to use... you have to use a little bit of a bigger brush because it takes more of the wash in the brush. If you don't put enough, if you use a really small, fine brush, you just don't get enough wash in there, and it's really hard to spread it out. So, but you don't want to go crazy. You have a huge brush. You just want this like a medium size, flathead with an angle. I like to put an angle because you can get into those tight corners, and it's flat on the one side so you can spread it out. I just find that a little easier. So you can see I'm just touching all the areas that I've been with the original green, going on to everywhere I think it would add some darkness to. Alright, so I'm just going to continue on here putting this color wash on, and we'll move on to the next color, so you guys don't have to watch me add this all in. I think you guys get the gist of what we're trying to do here. Okay, next we're going to go to a strong tone. And strong tone is kind of a brown colored wash. And it will add to the green that we've already put on. Some areas I will cover the green with some of this color. And as you can see, I'm just kind of almost covering the entire bricks. So remember in the paint tutorial, we kind of we went with those bright whites and ivories and those kind of colors on the stone. So this is your chance to kind of cover some of those areas where we maybe we're a little overzealous, let's say, in adding that white in, and this will really equal that out and give it a real good aged look. So I know I don't have the top of the temple on, but I would think right underneath where the top of the temple would be, it would be really a lot of darkness in there. Try to cover, get rid of the brightness of this teal blue on here too as well. Of course, when we originally put it on, we just wanted to add that color, but now that we want to add the age look to it, we really want to take away the brightness of that and add this darker color. So this strong tone is really good for that. As you can see, it's really takes well to the different colors in the foam and the yellow that we added, the yellow ochre we added to the walls. It really is giving that dirty, aged look. So as the water recedes from the rain, it leaves sediment behind on these walls, and you got mud all over the place. So we want to capture that with these washes. The green was more for plant life, and the strong tones. We're going to go always as far as going into the dark tone in a minute here, but and then I kind of hit, as you can see, the top of the bricks. So remember, in the green, I hit the bottom, but in the with the strong tone, I'm going to hit the top of the brick. So underneath of where the tiles are, implying that there is mud and sediment that stayed there. I think that's where visually I would see it. So just capturing all that. Again, all those textures that we created in the very, very first tutorial video when we made all those little, what did I call them, onions? Those little decorative bricks. The dollar store foam board, essentially, that I've carved those little symbols in. Again, they take really well to the washes, and added all that in there. So these front two pillars, I really wanted to add lots of age to them. As they're right out front of the temple, there's no roof cap. There's nothing there. Going to take a lot of weathering. Kind of where I broke up the foam a little bit too, to imply that the rock is broken. I like to add a lot of that color in there too. So again, like I said before, I like to put everything on this plate. I will mix some of these washes together. Sometimes I just make a slurry, really, in some areas where I just have two of the colors in there. But the washes dry really fast on the plate, so you don't have much time to do a lot of mixing like that. But there is a little bit of time. If you move from one color to the next, you might want to add some in there. Like, you're already mixing it as you put it on. The washes, when you apply them, they dry fairly quickly, but you have time to mix other colors in there. And again, like the paint, I like to just do it wet, right? Just keep adding things on, add layers and layers, and they all get to mingle together. And it just gives it a really realistic feel to it. Because things would have grown in different areas, and mud would have appeared in different areas, and you just want to kind of capture all that randomness in here. So kind of just hitting the inside here. Like I mentioned before, it would be probably darker on the inside. There wasn't much sunlight getting in here, so the strong tones and dark tones on the other tiles in here as it go would be important to put in here. All right, so we'll move on to the next color here. I'm just going to continue on. So I'm just going to do the other side here, and we'll just fast forward to the next step. Okay, so we're going to move into the dark tone, as I mentioned before. So dark tone is very similar to the strong tone, but it's darker. So it is actually really quite dark. So just be very careful with applying it. You can get something really dark really quick. And similar to the green technique where we added, I like to go back where I put the original strong tone. I go and hit it with some black tone. This section of the video, I've already actually gone ahead and done some of the black tone already. You can probably see that there's quite a bit of dark areas. Still hitting these, that teal blue still I feel is too bright. So I'm continuing on to add this dark tone to it. And again, just hitting all the areas I want to, the broken rock, any exposed areas. I think there would be a lot more of this dark tone in. I just really want to add all that in there. I know a lot of people make their own dark tone. I like the, and you can do that. I mean, some people make amazing washes on their own. But I tend to just buy stuff. It's Army Painter, as I mentioned before. A lot of their colors and their brushes and everything they make is that works really well together. And you know, I don't have a lot of experience in making my own washes, and so I've kind of gone into, and you know, that's maybe something down the road I can explore, and maybe we can explore together in a video. But right now I'm just using this pre-made stuff. I like all the colors that Army Painter has, and I find that this really works really well together, and I can get the look I want fairly easy with this product. They have like, I liked how they have steps up, so they have lighter greens, darker greens, and you can kind of go through all the and get that layered look to it. All right, so again, I'm hitting those two pillars out front. Just really giving it hard. I never really showed the top in this video much, but all the techniques that I did on the bottom, I essentially carried over to the top. I did all the same things. Right now I'm just hitting it with a dark tone. But the same thing, same techniques. I go and hit it all, the green, the dark tone, the brown tone, all those colors. But I just figured I would save some time by not showing the top as well. Anyway, so we're going to move on to the final stage, which actually is a wash. We're going to add another color to this and to finish off this temple. All right, so this is my favorite color, jungle green. So it's not a wash, but I apply it after I've completed the washes. So jungle green is an awesome color by Army Painter, and I use it in all my jungle terrain. It's a really bright green. Some people would think it looks more like toxic waste that you'd see in Ninja Turtles or something, but I think it adds, just pops when you want to add that green to the whole piece. It just really highlights the area. So I'm going to go back to every area where I think there was some growth, plant life, and I'm going to hit it with this jungle green. You'll see in a minute as we go through all this how much it really pops and adds to the piece. Now, this is also something I've talked about in the past. You can go a little overboard, so be careful. I know you're gonna love it. It's gonna look fantastic. You're like, oh, this is amazing, but you can go overboard. You can go to the point where you have way too much green, and in that case, you may have to go back and add some of the other darker washes and kind of clean up some of the green that you've put in there. So I'm going to hit those top two, front two pillars again, and I'm going to add a lot of green to it. I think there'll be a lot of plant life. It would have been exposed to the sun a lot, so it would have lots of growth on it. When we get to the next video, of course, I'm going to add a lot of flocking and to that area because I think a lot of plant life would have grown on those. So this, I have to say, this is like one of my favorite steps. I love putting this jungle green on. I kind of don't want it to end. I put it on, and this is one of my favorite stages. I just like seeing it come to life, right? You've added all those dark tones, and it looked pretty dingy, which as it should. It's in the jungle, but adding this jungle green really is just. It brings it alive. It makes the whole thing alive. And, you know, when we're done this stage, you could just leave your piece with just the paint on it. and you wouldn't have to really go to the plant life. But I like to add a realistic, almost. I think some people have commented that it looks more like a diorama. Um, but I really I do adhere that plant life pretty good to the piece, and I wanted to. I want this to be playable, right? This is ultimately for my game Blood and Plunder, and that's what I've created this for. So I always have that in mind when I'm building my terrain. That it has to be able to survive wear and tear, and putting my miniatures in it, and how could I move my miniatures through it, and that's important in the design. Just because you want to play with it, you want to use it for the game. All right, so I just remember I mentioned I was going to go to the middle of the temple. So if you put the cap on where the pillars are, the light would shine through the center there. So definitely there would be some green there as the sun at certain times of the day would hit in there. So let's see where I'm going to add some plant life into the center. Oh. There may be a little too much there. I might have to go back and hit that that green. As you can see, I put a little too much on there. I'll probably spread it out. Maybe I'll add some more washes to it. But again, I'll fix that afterwards. I'm not going to make you guys watch that. But that's going to happen. That's what I was mentioning. You could just get overzealous with this green stuff. This jungle green, and kind of hit the areas that you really don't put too much in there. But as you can see, it's really coming to life. All those dark tones and dark greens we put in, and we add this jungle green here on the end here, and it really, I feel that it really adds a realistic feel to the whole piece. And like I said, you could just leave it like this. And not go to a next step, but I like to, again, as I mentioned, I like to go to that next level with adding flocking and plant life, and we're going to do vines and all sorts of interesting things that we're going to add to this piece to really take it over to the top. Again, remember, this is going to be part of a larger piece, so of course it's going to be added to more jungle terrain, so I want it to fit into that terrain as well. So I have to take that into consideration when I'm painting this. If this was a freestanding piece, maybe I would have left it with this, maybe just a little flocking on it and leave it like that, but because as I'm adding it to some jungle terrain, I want to do that. Alright, so this is pretty much the end here for this video. I'm not going to make you guys watch the whole thing. Here's a completed look of the temple. Here's just some photos I took when I finished it. And just so you guys get an idea of what it looks like when it's all put together. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you at the next video where we add the foliage on. Alright, see you then, guys. Thanks for watching.